Making my way downtown, walking fast, podcasts past, and we're ears bound.
You know, you were saying, like, we'll see where Sleepy Brain takes me, but, yeah, that's,
It took me to some weird places.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
Heads turn back.
And I'm homebound.
Homebound.
Anyway, this is the Protagonist seat. I am Alex.
Luigi.
I am Alex.
I am occasionally Ian.
Not today.
Only sometimes.
Not today, he's not.
Not today.
And this is a podcast about, let's see, what's it about?
Well, we pick
Eisenhower-era dishwashers.
And the tastiness of their fluids. Always drink your dishwater, folks.
It's about anime. We talk about Japanese cartoons.
We pick approximately 10 of them at the start of every season, and then we slowly whittle them down as some are boring.
We are currently down to 8.
Yeah, and we got a pretty solid 8, actually.
Yeah, nothing this week was bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk Fire Force.
Fire Force.
It's got a new opening. I don't like it.
I do, though.
Yeah, it's the dudes who did the King's Game opening.
Yeah, I love the King's Game opening. It's tacky as fuck.
Yeah, I like it because it's not good, but
Yeah.
the show's not good, so everything about that fits.
Yeah.
It feels like...
That's true. There's a little bit of a dissonance here.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it fits to me.
I like it. Just because I love that opening. I love the King's Game opening.
Anyway, we meet new party members this week.
Yeah, we get 2 new members of the party.
We get...
Both of which are in the OP.
Yeah, we get Totally Not Bad Guy.
Who we actually see consorting with the bad guys earlier in the season.
Also, he has a crazy face.
And he speaks like an insane person.
Yeah, and his eyes are all, like, bulging out of his head.
And any of his gestures feel like something... a crazy person who built a robot that would act like they thought a person would act like.
Anyway, he's from the company that's evil.
He's from the corpse.
And they know that too. Like Princess Lady even is like, I smell a rat.
Yeah, no one trusts this guy. Everyone is wary of him. They have a meeting. And as they start talking about a different subject, he just stands in... He finds the one fucking shadow in the room and stands in it.
Grinning like a madman, saying nothing.
Because he is evil.
Yeah.
He's like the captain of the Third, who you look at and are just like, that guy's evil.
And speaking of the Third, so we find out that this guy's... there's a mechanic that everyone's trying to recruit, and they're like, hey, we could use a mechanic.
Yeah, we'll take this guy.
So they send Shinra, Arthur, and Iris to go find out if he's right for the 8th.
Why send Arthur? What would Arthur accomplish? Who fucking knows, but they send him anyway.
Yeah, so he lives in a junkyard full of a bunch of scrap inventions.
Because this dude just nonstop invents all the time.
And after they go to see him, they hear he doesn't like the evil corporation for obvious reasons, and he also doesn't like the Fire Force
because they're associated with being under the corporation's control, so he doesn't trust them.
So immediately when they go to visit them, he like starts chucking cans at them, like,
and I guess they're just full cans.
Yeah, so he throws like full cans of soda at
That's
them.
Wasteful.
And it hits Shinra in the head, and then he hits Arthur, and then he's about to chuck one at Iris, and she's all like, eh. And he's like, no.
No girls.
No girls.
Remember, no girls. Guys, you remember the No Russian mission? This is one of the greatest missions in all Call of Duty history.
They could never do that again.
No, but it was a very good storytelling tool.
Yeah. You could skip it and not lose out on achievements.
Yeah.
They made that an option.
That was pretty smart on their part.
Yeah. Instead of being like, hey, do you want to play a scene where you're a mass murderer?
You gotta. If you're an achievement whore.
Yeah.
But basically, they're like, well, this was a fucking waste of time. And then a kid shows up, and he's like, hey, guys, I'm the apprentice.
He's actually a really cool guy, my master. And then they bring him inside, and then he turns out he's cool. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is a cool guy.
But he gets visited by the captain of the Third, Plague Mask guy.
I like how they watch him invent and he just like him inventing and building something is him just slamming on a big chunk of metal with wrenches until he's done, and he kicks it into the wall.
We did a sci-fi D&D game, and I did a character that was an engineer that fixed everything like that, just smacking it with a wrench, and everyone got pissed off.
Yeah, the scrap kid.
Yeah, he's a scrap kid.
This guy's just a scrap kid.
He is. He's a scrap kid.
He lives in a scrap yard. He kicks it against the wall. And
that's an archetype. I call it the scrap kid. They just play with scrap, and they build things, and they smack things with a wrench, and then somehow amazing things happen.
Because they're scrap kids.
But the captain of the third wants him to join him.
Because he's a genius engineer.
And he's like, if I say no, are you going to kill me like you did my dad and grandpa?
And then the captain of the eighth basically heavily insinuates that
the captain of the third.
Captain of the third, sorry. Captain of the eighth is our good boy.
Yeah.
But the captain of the third basically heavily insinuates that, yes, that is what will happen if you say no.
And we find out what the history of those two are, is that apparently his grandfather had two apprentices, which was our character's father.
Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan's father, and then his best friend, who was is the current captain of the third, and they both mysteriously died right before he went to go work for that corporation.
Yeah, and conveniently enough, the grandfather really hated the corporation, so he was like, "Hey, no working for them. That's outlawed. None of that."
And then he shows he's got a real obsession with animals, because I guess animals don't really exist anymore.
Yeah,
because there was a big fire that destroyed everything.
They all died out.
And he made a invention that he showed them. He's like, "Hey, look at this." And apparently he made a weird hologram projector that perfectly 3D space outside in sunlight.
Yes.
Whoa, we're on an African safari. We're under the ocean. Whoa, look at all the animals.
But in general, the sequence itself is very beautifully directed.
Yeah, that guy's dream, it turns out, is to bring back the animals. He's going to bring power and energy to the rest of the world.
Guys, let's trigger all of our conservative friends, and let's fight global warming to bring back the animals.
How did it destroy the whales and stuff? They're in the water. Fire can't go in the water.
Whales, have you ever seen whale oil lamps? That shit is super flammable.
Oh, the whales just light on fire?
Yeah.
Well, about the other fish?
They're near it, man. It boils them alive. Okay, but imagine this, though. You're on, like, a deep-sea dive, and all of a sudden there's this weird glow, and you turn around, and there's just a fucking flaming whale just swimming through the ocean right at you.
That would be terrifying.
That would be.
Also, if I'm diving at, like, whale, like, depths, that'd be scary.
I mean, whales have a variety of depths. They can live near the surface because they do breathe air.
And some can go eat giant squids.
Yeah. Moral of the story is don't go in the ocean because it's fucking scary.
And don't be a whale because you can set them on fire, I guess.
And whales are super flammable, so don't smoke in the ocean, guys. You'll light up the whales.
Don't smoke near whales.
Otherwise, they'll go up like a freaking candle.
This day and age, humanity fears one thing: spontaneous whale combustion. But anyway, Shinra's about to leave when he gets a weird feeling in his legs that the guy is gonna...
He feels the captain of the third's hostile intent.
Yeah, so he's like, wait, we can't leave just yet.
Also, Vulcan has a hot, big titty assistant named Lisa.
Who looks like his sister, I'm not gonna lie.
She does.
Yeah.
They have the same red hair, but I guess he just kind of ran across her one day in the junkyard.
Yeah, but...
It's where I meet all of my friends. Just go right to the junkyard.
Yeah, don't you... Everyone has their local scrap kid.
Yeah, just gotta pick up your scrap kids. Guys, tip your scrap kids. They like bolts and pieces of sheet metal.
They like shinies.
Give them the shinies.
Speaking of shinies, Dr. Stone. 10,000 folded steel.
They make fucking katanas this week, and it's It is simultaneously the dumbest bullshit I've ever seen and also amazing.
Yeah. The last episode ended with Gen revealing that Tsukasa's army's headed this way. And it's not the whole army. It's just like a scouting party.
Dudes.
But with a really strong guy leading them.
It's like it's the Three Stooges, Gen, and a dude who is a one-man army.
Yeah. And as they are watching the bridge... Also, think about this. For the longest time, they were the only people, so Kinro and Ginro probably never had to experience anybody showing up.
Yeah. So just all of a sudden, Kinro sees, senses, whatever. He figures out that basically there's a small raiding party outside, and
he sends Ginro to go get, notify everybody.
This was a cool scene, just because, all of a sudden, Kinro just arms up and gets ready. He's like, Ginro, and gotta go alert the village.
I think the guy's name is Hyoga or something.
Yeah, it's Hyoga.
Yeah, Hyoga, the leader of the bad guys, realizes, this guy's pretty smart. He backed onto the bridge because he knows that he has the advantage in a spear fight.
On a one-on-one combat on a bridge.
And of course the mooks are like, we'll go fight him.
And they do and instantly get wrecked because they're fucking idiots.
And he's like, you guys are idiots, let me do this, because then it's a spear-to-spear fight.
Right. And he has his super special spear technique.
And he realizes quickly, he's like, oh, you don't have good eyesight.
You can't see.
And yeah.
Yeah.
By the time Ginro gets everybody, they show up a little too late, and it looks like Kinro is about to fall off the bridge and die.
Dude gets stabbed, but his last act is he grabs onto Hyoga's leg.
And he's like, cut the bridge!
And then a long time passes while a lot of people do a lot of shit.
And Ginro goes to try and cut down the bridge, but he's like, I can't do it. Kinro will die if I do. That's my best buddy.
I can't let my best friend in the whole wide world, Vin Diesel, die.
But Senku, with his quick thinking, comes up with a solution. He's like, we can use the last of our gunpowder for this. He
bluffs a gun.
Yeah, and they have... Gen convinces Magma to throw a rock as hard as he can.
It doesn't even have to hit.
Yeah, it just needs to sound like, oh, hey, he shot something and we heard the...
We heard an impact.
Yeah. So they fake a gunshot, and they think, oh shit, they've already invented guns. And Gen's like, we have to get out of here, they got guns.
Oh no.
And they run away, and Gen convinces them that, hey, we can't, since they got guns, we should just invade on the day of a storm, so they can't light their
matchlock rifles, which is a reasonable strategy.
So they decide, alright, we'll wait until then. And Senku knows that they're going to wait until then, too.
Because Senku is very smart. And he just kind of knows.
And they end up basically prepping by making katanas.
Yes. They take the craftsman, and Senku whispers into his ear what he wants him to do. And this is a little bit weird scene. The craftsman gets so pumped up that all of his clothes just explode off of his body.
Yeah, and all the gossip girls in town are like, ah, besides one of them's got one of her eye peeking out like, yes, daddy.
When the craftsman thinks about gets excited about cool ideas, his entire body gets hard. And yes, that is how they phrase it in the show.
And he basically goes and makes a bunch of katanas for everybody, which includes Kohaku's dad.
Yeah.
Magma, and... Yeah, so Magma's good now. He's on their side, even though he wanted to, kill Rui.
Good-ish. We'll put him in the ish category.
Yeah, so the day of the storm happens. They all show up. Senku actually baits himself by looking like he's like, oh no, you've caught me off guard.
I can't fire my gun.
And they're like, haha, we got him. And then everyone jumps out, and there's an image of them almost all dressed as samurai.
Yeah, because these are guys who were revived. So these are people from our era, the world. So they are probably hey, steel weapons, katana, shit.
Yeah.
And then they do say that.
And while they're fighting, of course, their steel weapons easily cut through their wood and stone clubs.
Yeah, they get their shit rocked.
Yeah, so all of their weapons get, like, destroyed, and they're like, oh, what do we do?
And then Hyoga comes in because he's like, guys, let the actual warrior do shit.
And he starts flinging around his spear, because apparently it's, like, got a...
He basically, his strategy is he has a bamboo shoot on his spear, and he can like flick his wrist to make the end of the spear spin, so it's harder to figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah, and
he stabs you.
And he's actually pretty good, where he ends up actually knocking one of Magma's katanas out of his hand.
Yeah.
And they end up all fighting him, and it looks like he's actually about to stab Kohaku when his spear breaks.
Yup. What?
And they realize a few days ago this wasn't something that happened in combat. Someone sabotaged him.
Senku had a plan to defeat him with science and deception.
Yeah, he had Suika bring Gen a little knife that he could use to cut just a little thin cut into Hyoga's spear.
Nigh imperceptible, but just enough to cause it to malfunction.
Yeah, and then it ended up breaking on him, and then he's like, Gen, you're a dirty traitor. And he's like, what, me? And then he does his face where he's like, ha ha ha, and he's like, of course I was.
Haha, I was the traitor all along.
And he fully defects now to the Kingdom of Science.
Yay! Because I like Gen.
I do like Gen. Gen's a cool character.
I like how Gen disappears in, like, a shower of petals, and the next, like, we look over and he's standing on top one of the posts on the bridge.
Gen is a well-done, chaotic, neutral character.
Yeah. We need more Gens in D&D.
We do. But yeah, he's a really cool character, and I'm glad now he's officially with the group.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it ends, because we don't see how... I'm assuming this guy's just going to flee.
Probably. He's going to be like, well, you took out my weapon. Either that... No, he's going to retreat. Because as much as I would like to see him just be
I don't know why he doesn't just... because if I was this guy, I'd be like, yo, these dudes got katanas. We live in a fucking cave with Tsukasa. That sucks.
Hey, can you make me a spear that's not shitty? Yep. Where do I sign up?
Yeah.
You got forms? Have you invented papers and
we had another little
yet?
look of, like, Gen and Senku as samurai, too, which is neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was...
It's cool.
It's cool. I like this show.
Me
this
too.
Is a very good show.
I agree. Fate. Grand Order.
It's okay.
It is okay.
It's based off of a phone game.
Yep. So Gilgamesh just...
Yeah, Gilgamesh shows up and he just kind of like... It's like, hey, we're doing a mission together today.
We're going on a mission, you and me this time.
This is your mission so you can try me as a unit and decide if you want to roll for me?
Yeah. And most people will say yes, because that's a smart idea.
He's good.
He's very good.
They go to a lighthouse, but anyway, while they're traveling, there was one scene I liked where he's like, tell me something interesting. And they're like, okay. So they tell him the stories of their adventures, and he's like, wow, that was very boring.
But at least it sounds like you guys were having a good time. And they're like, yeah.
And they do more like meeting people in Uruk, helping out, or meeting people in Mesopotamia, because they're not in the city anymore. But like,
we get a couple flashbacks to
the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
And then we got a flashback to Drake.
Yeah. Okeanos. Because she's like, Mash, you have a dream, so don't worry about it.
Oh, he did the thing early on. He did the rejoice, then the main character's name. Yarakobe Shonen.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what Kirei always said to Shiro. But now it's Gilgamesh saying it.
Now it's Gil.
Yarakobe.
Our best friend, Gilgamesh.
And I realized this episode, it really highlights the problems with this, is that the Mosh and Master bits aren't really that entertaining. Mostly because this man is a non-character.
He's supposed to be the self-insert character, so having him be a separate entity is weird.
Yeah, and it's just like, eh. Yeah. So, like, anytime it's just the two of them, I kind of, like, zone out, because I'm like, one, I've already read all this, two, I don't care.
Yeah. And then hopefully the fighting starts again.
And then it does.
Yeah,
Because Enkidu shows up flying out of the sky like a cruise missile.
Yeah. And he just shows up, and then him and Mosh fight, and it's cool, because the fight scenes are cool.
Yeah, but she gets wrecked because he's way stronger, and then Gilgamesh shows up, and then a cool scene of them fighting each other happens.
And it's also very cool.
Yeah.
We get some more Gate of Babylon shit.
Except both of them are doing it.
Yeah.
But Enkidu only has Gate of Chains.
Yeah, he's got Chains of Babylon, because that sounds cooler. And Gilgamesh has a cool axe.
And it looks like he's actually about to kill Gilgamesh, but he, like, holds back.
He gets, like, a weird glitchy...
Enkidu.exe has stopped working.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going home now. So Enkidu leaves, and then Gil is all sad about it, because that's his best friend.
And then they go back.
And then they leave.
And that's the episode.
Yeah.
Fatal Grand Order.
Welcome to high school, but high school's full of demons.
Iruma-kun.
I would say that actual high school is also full of demons. Because if you've ever met, like, a high schooler...
What creative commentary.
I know. I like to bring the insightful, deep commentary, like how children are kind of rude.
No way. Children being rude?
So anyway,
So
Iruma,
it's still during the obstacle course race thing, whatever that they're doing.
Iruma befriends the child of the Valley Guardian.
Yeah, we find this out because he shows up to where Sabak or Sadabak, blonde demon.
Yeah,
buff demon dude
who wants to be the Demon King.
Yeah, he's fighting the Guardian, and we find out his ability is that he can make weapons.
Yeah, he can spawn weapons based on whatever material he's currently biting.
So he has a bunch of metal dog tags that he bites.
If he grits his teeth, can he make a weapon out of, like, bones or
out
teeth?
Of teeth? Probably.
Give me a tooth hammer.
That would be very demon-esque, like a bone weapon.
It would be.
But yeah, he makes a very guts-ass sword. Like,
yeah. Super
berserk-looking, and he still gets the shit kicked out of him. And then Iruma shows up and basically saves him.
And then is super friendly.
Yeah, and then it's like, man, I can't be mad at that smile. How can you hate that smile?
He's got such a happy-go-lucky smile in a very terrifying situation.
He's such a good boy. And what I assumed was going to happen, the two of them ride the Guardian back.
Yep. But they are last.
Yeah. So they are dead last. And they end up all getting their ranks. Asmodeus gets the highest at like 4. And everyone else... Clara gets a 3 because she rode on his back the whole time.
And got second in the race.
And the buff demon dude gets 2, which she's like, fine, whatever, I'll work my way up from here. Oh, we find out, too, the reason he wants to be the Demon King. He gives, like, a sad backstory about his brother. He's like, listen, I'm leaving this to you. And he goes off to, like, fight a battle. And he's like, brother! And then his sister's all sick in bed, like... Please promise me you'll be the Demon Lord or the Demon King. He's like, I promise, I will.
But no, none of that actually happened.
It's like, none of that ever happened!
I just want to be the coolest demon.
Yeah. Being the Demon Lord is just really cool!
And he doesn't want to
My brother's a pacifist and my sister is fine!
My sister is fine! He just doesn't want to be lame, because he thinks his dad is kind of lame for, I guess, just having a day job.
Yeah, and he ends up deciding that Iruma is worthy of being his rival now.
Because, you know what? Befriending the terrifying Valley Guardian that kicked the shit out of him is kind of badass.
And Iruma reaches in to pick his because he's last, and he doesn't get one.
The owl screams and flies away.
Turns out he gets one of the incredibly rare Rings of Solomon. Oh, I love the scene, too, where it's like, the owl hasn't made noise in over 10,000 years. Until now!
What the and one of the students makes a joke about another bird he saw, i.e. the teacher in familiar form.
Yeah, but anyway, he gets one of the Rings of Solomon.
Yeah, holy shit. And then the Ring of Solomon just starts screaming.
And everybody, even in the school, hears it. And then Sullivan actually shows up because the teacher actually was going to cut Iruma's arm off because he's actually afraid of the thing. He's like, wait, that ring just threatened me.
Yeah. This is actually terrifying and shouldn't be in his hands.
But then he stops him and he's just like, hey, you were going to cut his arm off, weren't you?
Yes.
And he's like, that's no good. And apparently the thing, like, he's like, oh, you must be so hungry. And then he's just like, here, eat it up. And he sticks its hand over its mouth. And then after, like, it looks like it just gets, like, blown up with, like, a bunch, or it expands.
Yeah.
And then it just gets sucked back into the ring. And he's like, yeah, that thing is called the Ring of Gluttony.
This is all a weird black flame that comes out of the ring. I don't know if we explained that part.
Yeah.
That seems kind of important.
Yeah, it's a giant black flame that comes out of the ring, and it has a face.
Yeah, because it's spooky.
And apparently it only comes out when it's hungry, and it eats energy. And Sullivan has so much energy that he can basically feed it and still be fine. Whereas it touches Asmodeus and the buff guy, and they drop unconscious almost instantly.
I like how Asmodeus tries to, like, brush it off. He's like, no, this is fine.
And he starts coughing up blood because it's just chewing on him.
So that's his new thing, I guess, his new piece of equipment.
That's probably going to be his, like, that's going to be his Deus Ex, like, I need to do something in this moment.
Yeah.
But he gets the lowest rank possible because he didn't actually get a rank.
Yeah, he didn't get a badge. Instead, he got a legendary item. So, fuck him. He's at rank 1. And he's like, you know what?
I'll stand out least this way. You know what? I'll be a background character. That'll be fine.
Turns out that's not the case.
Everyone knows he got a super magic ring, so he's the talk of the school.
And there are some people that start rumors that he actually is the one who kicked the shit out of Asmodeus and the other guy.
Well, they know he kicked the shit out of Asmodeus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good show. I like it.
Sabaro, like the pizza place.
Suki. Are you the only one that loves me?
Guys, this show is pretty good.
I thought Bench-kun was done.
I get the feeling that Bench-kun is never going to leave, and I'm very okay with that. Basically, the people who get announced to be the dances.
The flower dance.
The
flower dance is where one male student dances with 3 female students, and there's even a rumor that eventually he'll marry one of them in the future.
Yes, and at one point, he even himself, as he explains it to someone, it turns to the camera, much to the confusion of the person he's talking to.
Yeah, he ends up getting called up to talk to, on the roof to talk to, I think her name's Asuno or something.
Yeah.
The newspaper girl
with blue hair.
Yeah, so she's like, can you come talk to me? And he's like, don't worry, I'm cool. I've been through this. It's probably just a conversation. She's like,
let's sit down somewhere.
And he
over
looks
there.
And on the school roof is Bench-kun. He's like, what?
On the fucking bench, on the fucking roof.
He's just like, why?
I like how he sees it and his face turns into, I don't know if you've watched Kaiji.
Yeah, I was going to say, he turns
into
Kaiji
face, and it's so good.
And he goes and he sits down next to her, and she's just like, I just wanted to say that you're the biggest scumbag in the school. You're an enemy to all women.
It starts with the speech that everyone so far at every point on Bench-kun has given.
And he's like, what makes you think that? She's like, it was the day of the baseball tournament.
Because of fucking course it was.
She saw him leering at some girl who we know is Pansy, but he didn't know it was Pansy at the time.
Yeah, because Pansy is well endowed.
And she's like, I can see it in your eyes. It's full of nothing but lust.
I could see it in your eyes. I could see it in your smile. Is this a musical reference?
And he ends up, I don't know the reference. He ends up,
I don't know the rest of the song, so.
So yeah, I guess we're just gonna brush by that.
Perfect.
So she is convinced that he is leading 3 women on, and that she is gonna publish it in the paper. But he's like, that's not true. And she's like, oh well, if it's not true, then I don't want to publish it. You know, journalistic integrity and all.
I'll just follow you around until I figure out what I want to do.
So she shadows him, and he has the only time she can't shadow him is during his lunch break, where he meets with everyone in the library.
Naturally.
And so he's like, guys, listen, she's following me. I want you guys to all stay away from me as much as possible. And they're all like, no.
No.
And he's like, bleh.
Guys, not helping. I need some backup on this one.
And
nope.
they end up deciding, well, they're going to bring him to meet some girl that is also going to be the other member of the flower dance.
I also like how Pansy's first response is, well, if you just got engaged to me, we could just get rid of those rumors right now. And he's like, no, not. He doesn't even let her finish the sentence. He's like, no, not that one. And she's like, are you sure? You didn't even let me finish. No.
Yeah, he just moves right along with it. And Cosmos and him he's like, listen, I'll go and invite you to, we got to go meet the other girl who's part of the flower dance. And he's like, okay, but if you do, be super strict with me. Be like an upperclassman, talking to a lowerclassman.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, hello, Joro-kun.
Yeah.
It is I, your samurai senpai.
He goes to meet her, and she goes full-on samurai kabuki mode, and I actually just started laughing.
And he's just
so funny.
He's just like, why?
She's so bad at it, but it's great.
And then he goes to talk to that girl that's a first year that's supposed to be part of the dance, and she's immediately terrified of him. And she's like, wait, I know you. You're Joro. You're that guy that has all those rumors about him. You're the shoe sniffer.
What?
And she's like, yeah, you sniff like all the girls' shoes and stuff. And then she runs away, and then the newspaper girl's like, yeah, well, I guess maybe you're not leading 3 women on, because I have a hard time believing a guy who sniffs shoes is going to be like...
No one with that kind of weird fetish is going to be popular with the ladies. And Cosmos is like, yeah, we did it!
And he's like, no, we completed one objective, but...
At the cost of another.
Yeah. But anyway, so she's following him, and everything seems cool. That girl decides to drop out, naturally, the first-year girl, so there's an opening. And it almost... You can tell right here the newspaper girl's like, oh, well, if you need another person, I might. And he immediately gets a text message. Oh, Cosmos found somebody. It's all good.
As soon
as that happened, I'm like, I could see where the rest of this episode was going.
Yeah.
So the person Cosmos got, too, was Sun-chan.
Yeah, and
because Sun-chan is now just a joke character.
Yeah, and they're not even gonna change the dance so each one gets to dance with one of the ladies.
No, he is just one of the girls.
Yeah, he is going to dance with Sun-chan.
And so they're all practicing and stuff, and Asano, the newspaper girl's watching them. And then the next day, or a few days later,
they go...
The paper gets leaked.
Well, hold on, because they go shopping for, formal clothes, and Sun-chan comes out in a dress.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
He has lost any sort of, rival character thing. He's the joke character.
I am okay with this.
Yeah.
If it gets more imagery of him in a dress and just goofy shit like that, I'm good with it.
He is making up for the fact that he was almost a...
He was almost a rapist.
He was almost a rapist. So
he was very close.
He needs to go through the humiliation ritual.
Yes. But somehow the article does get published. Oh, no!
And immediately I knew, because everyone decides, hey, because it's a pretty big deal, everyone's kind of, pissed off at him, but... newspaper girl's like, oh, it was an accident, it slipped into the wrong pile, I'm gonna go collect it and tell everyone it's fake. And the group meets up and they're like, hey, we should all kind of take a break from hanging out for a little bit.
This actually led me to believe for approximately 1.5 minutes that holy shit, maybe Pansy was in on it.
Nope,
it was the other girl.
Yeah, because we see that everyone's not hanging out, and then newspaper girl feels really bad. She's like, hey, if you need a dance partner, I'll help you practice. And I'm like, it was all intentional. Yeah. Because every girl in this series is doing
they're playing their own manipulative games.
Yeah, everyone's doing shady shit. So she ends up dancing with him on the roof, and they're having a good time. And you can see Cosmos is watching, so she knows. Cosmos, I think, is like, yeah,
something's up.
And Pansy, being Pansy, I'm assuming has figured out something was up from the moment it happened. And
probably already has a plan to fix it.
Yeah.
Because fuck it, that's what she does.
But at least shows that Cosmos is a little, further behind. And the other girl is just... Childhood friend is just not even playing the game.
Genki Girl is not even playing the same... She's not even playing a game. Everyone's...
Genki Girl isn't even at the board.
Yeah, everyone's playing a game, and she's off just, rolling around in the other room with the dog. That's how far off she is.
Yeah, but next week it's obviously going to be revealed that she leaked it on purpose because she wanted to monopolize Joro for herself.
Yep.
And then she'll be like, I'm sorry, but I'm officially going to join the harem now.
But now I'm in the harem, and now I hang out with everyone during lunch. Because fuck it. We'll fill up the... What if at the end of this series, it was all just a ploy by Pansy, who was like, I need to get people to come to the library. So she goes through this elaborate
It's not even
series.
a friend thing. It's just people need to come to the library more.
We need more business in the library to justify it for student council.
That would be weird.
That would be weird, but it would make me happy. Hey, didn't I say to make my abilities average?
Did I not say to make my abilities average in my next life?
Did I not say to make my abilities average in my next life?
Did I not specify that I required mediocrity in my reincarnation?
I myself specified to you that in my next reincarnation, all of my abilities were to be of average merit.
Things got a little heavy this week.
They did.
So they start their new life as adventurers, no longer students.
Oh boy, gotta do so many cool things.
And
gotta kill rabbits.
They do a quest to go fight some rock lizards.
And they do.
And the merchant tries to rip them off because he's like, oh, they're newbies, I can. But Paulina's a merchant, so she's like...
And Paulina's also very scary.
Yeah, she essentially, in the nicest way possible, is like, don't you ever fuck with me.
Don't you ever try to pull that bullshit ever again. I will ruin your reputation. I will bury you.
I will fucking bury you. You will rue the day, sir.
And then they take the lizards and sell them to the Hunters Guild instead, because fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And now that dude's reputation is just screwed.
And they make a bunch of money, and they go around doing quests, and then Rena decides, hey, we should take a harder quest.
We're never gonna level up to be legendary heroes if we just do all this easy shit.
So they take a quest to go escort a group of merchants.
And it's kind of nice. You know, they're just chilling.
Even though they're sitting right in the back of the wagon, and the guys right in front of them, they're like, I don't know if we were ready for this. I would, if I heard the people I hired to protect me saying that, I'd be like,
Can I change? Can I get a new group? Yeah, that's very disconcerting.
But yeah, they get all mud on them, and they all switch into another set of clothes.
And all right.
Because Mile had it with her.
Mile has several different outfits on her.
And ironically enough for Mavis, she had a men's-like outfit.
Back when they were doing maid cafe shit, she was dressed up as a butler.
Oh yeah, the inn that they stay at requires them to do a maid cafe thing.
Because they're all sitting in there for cheap, just talking about how crap, like, it's not a good hotel room, but it'll do for a cheap one.
Yeah, but then the girl who works there is like
guys,
really pissed off at him.
We can hear you. Stop saying that.
And it's like, hey, how about you help us and work for us for a little bit? And they do.
Maid cafe.
Yeah, it's a maid cafe, and Mavis is a butler.
Yeah.
And Mile really gets into it, where she's like, moe, cute.
She does the actual maid cafe stuff.
Because Mile is an otaku, so of course she's fine with that.
Yeah.
But while they're on their journey, they end up getting attacked by just generic bandits.
Who'd have thunk it? The adventurers in this adventurer show got attacked by the bandits.
And of course they kick the shit out of them.
Easily.
Yeah. And then one of the bandits is like, I was going to sell you guys for a high price. And Rena has like a PTSD flashback because of that. Because
apparently her father/family was also killed by bandits.
It looks like her dad was killed by bandits. And then they tried to sell her at one point, and she torched them alive.
Yes.
And she almost killed that guy, and they're freaking out at her. Well, you were going to kill that guy. And she says to all of them, have you guys ever killed anyone before?
Hey, you guys ever killed anyone before?
And I'm like, this is getting heavy for...
Holy shit.
For wacky shenanigans.
This, for the show that has Sentai poses in the OP, this is kind of some dark topic matter.
Yeah, so...
I'm
glad. It turns out Rena was... And I wonder how she would feel if at one point... Mile was like, oh yeah, by the way, I made a secret bet with that noble lady that we would be slaves if we lost. Don't know if you guys would have been like mad about that.
I wonder if Miles ever killed anyone, because this is technically her second adventure. She has already become royalty of another nation.
I feel like she probably hasn't.
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah,
Just because of how she is.
Yeah, because that's heavy stuff.
It is.
But it looks like Rena has.
I'm glad they brought it in, though. I like it. I like kind of a little bit of good character development.
This is a good show, and I really like it.
It's very good, and everyone should watch it.
Everyone should. You know what? Because people write off isekai as a genre. Because, yeah, there's a fuck ton of it, and a lot of it's not good. But there's some dig around. There's some good shit.
Get your little spoon. Get a
little pail and shovel.
Get a little teacup and a spoon and just go on digging.
Yeah.
Digging for goodies.
It's going to take you a really long time because you're using a teacup and a spoon.
Yeah.
And I picture one of those like teaspoons where it's like really tiny.
Yeah. That's what I was going for.
Salarymen, salarymen, salarymen.
This show is very good as well. So this week, basically, the CEO comes in because
mascot characters.
There's only like 4 fucking people in this whole company, and one of them's the CEO. But he just comes in. He's like, "Hey guys, we need a mascot."
No,
character.
hey, my corporate drones.
Oh yeah,
we need a mascot.
Everyone line up, and yeah. So that's their mission. They need to go figure out what the hell the deal is with getting a mascot character.
And they're like, we don't really know anything about mascots. But Toucan's like, well, thankfully, your boy knows all about mascots.
Your boy.
And he's like, look up people you used to know. A lot of people work as mascots now. And Big Cat's like, hey, yeah, a guy I went to college with is a mascot now. And Lizard's like, hey, this guy I went to high school is a mascot.
Holy shit, we should hit them up and go have drinks.
Yep, and so
then they do that.
And turns out the guy that Big Cat knew he's like melon bear or something.
He is a bear who has a melon for a head.
Because I guess he was eating watermelons that he shouldn't have been, or just melons that he shouldn't have been eating once before, and it turned his head into a melon for some reason.
Yeah, so don't steal melons, I guess.
And he's super scary because he's like, that really hits the spot.
Because he is a bear.
Yeah, and he ends up at one point talking about, he's like, yeah, it sucks, but my job isn't too bad now. I get to, play with the kids and stuff. And it shows pictures of these children absolutely terrified.
And just jaws. Just the
just
jaws of a
teeth.
bear.
And Lizard goes out with his friend Rabbit, or this rabbit that he knew in high school. I like when they do like high school Lizard, they do a flashback and he sounds like this for all of his lines. Cool, man, whatever.
He actually does like a high schooler voice.
Yeah.
I thought that was
he
a
makes
good
his
touch.
voice like super high.
That's dedication to your craft right there. That
dude has a good voice.
He does. He's got some good range on him.
He and then his friend comes in, and because it shows in high school he was just this awkward nerdy rabbit. He's like, oh, I don't want to go to lunch with you guys. I eat too slow. Okay, man. Guess I'll see you later.
Turns out he was the only person in high school to talk to little bunny man.
And now he shows up and he's a giant, he's like a big red bunny that's like one solid shape. He doesn't have like normal extremities anymore.
He's like a apple bunny.
Yeah. And he's like bobbing up and down like, apple, 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 apple. And he's voiced by Sugata, and that's just great.
Yeah. And basically he's like,
he's hyper energy, just nonstop.
I was super shy in high school, so I broke out of that. And
I got plastic surgery.
Yeah, because that's the best idea. He turned himself into a freaking apple rabbit.
And he's just so high energy. The first thing he does is he like tackles Lizard when he jumps in.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And there's a moment where he's like, you are the only he gets super serious.
Yeah, he stops being like, apple, 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 apple. He's just, you were the only person back in high school who even bothered to talk to me.
Yeah. Oh, I see you can turn it off when you get serious. And then he gets crazy again. And I'm gonna let you describe what he does, just because I'm still trying to freaking parse. It's bukake.
He just sprays apple juice everywhere.
He
summons it almost.
He's like, Lizard, let me show you the trick that I learned that made me rise to popularity as a mascot. And he summons torrents of apple juice. and soaks the entire bar. And then he just looks at Lizard after everything's over, and he's like, "Bukkake." and Lizard's like, "I really hope he means the dish," as he's wiping like apple juice off his face.
And Toucan's guy is a shitbag.
Yeah, much like Toucan.
Yeah, he's a baseball team mascot, and he's hanging out with Toucan. He's hard smoking. He's like, he's like, "Hey, is being a mascot character hard?" "Well, it's a lot harder than most people make it seem. For example, my ex-wife, she's coming after me for alimony payments, and she's kind of dipping into my wallet. It's awful." "Well, that doesn't sound like it has anything to do with the job." He's like, "What'd you do?" "I cheated on her." "Well, so it's entirely your fault." "I cheated on her with her younger sister, and her older sister, and her mom." It's like, dude, are you okay?
Do you have a problem? But
yeah, he's a shitbag.
He's a scumbag who's in it for the money.
And they all get back and they explain their experience with mascots, and Lizard and Big Cat are like, "I still don't really understand what a mascot is."
It was weird, and we didn't learn anything.
And then the tortoise comes back, and he's like, "Oh, sir, about the mascot thing." "Oh, what mascot thing? You asked us to go find a mascot for the company." "I got bored of that idea."
Yep.
It was all for naught.
It was all for naught. Although, I'm glad. I enjoyed the journey we took. I enjoyed it.
It was a good journey.
This is a good show as well.
All journeys come to an end,
This
and every
show's
game
funny.
ends. Every game over. No guns life.
No guns life.
So,
the kid is getting the shit beat out of him, basically.
yeah, he is not using Juzo properly, and he ends up falling off Juzo's back because the spider girl gets possessed by, or she gets shot with some weird drug thing that makes her go out of control again.
Well, basically, Purple Suit Man is...
Yes, Purple Suit Man!
He comes back and is a shitbag, and he figures out that Tetsuo is controlling Juzo.
And he's like, Tetsuo, he's like, that's the problem with you. He's like, if you don't know how to actually use a tool, you're completely ineffective. He's like, even you using someone as strong as Juzo can't... Like, he basically is right that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know your move set.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing, so there's no way you could actually save these girls.
And so he shoots the...
Because they end up hesitating to, like, kill them.
Yeah.
And
so he shoots Anne with the... It's the comatose drug.
Yeah, but instead this makes her frenzy.
It's because it
overloads her sub-brain or something.
It shuts down her conscious brain and puts everything back onto her sub-brain, and her sub-brain is the one that goes berserk.
And she flings the two of them at a wall, and it looks like this is where Tetsuo gets, like, cut off from Juzo.
Yep.
Because he takes damage. And
he takes critical damage.
And it looks like the girl dies, the other one. But
yeah,
I don't
redhead.
think she does, because they mention them later like they're alive.
But
she does like full on like eyes open dead, not like I'm unconscious, just like.
I think she dies, but blonde girl doesn't die.
Blonde girl is in for a real like surprise then.
Yeah. Basically, Juzo wakes up at the crucial moment to save Tetsuo, and they run away
from like crazy spider overload chick.
Yeah.
And as they're getting in an elevator, he's like, "Listen, I'm gonna leave you here," but he's like trying to pull him along with him, and he's like, "There's only so much whining I'm willing to put up with.
Cut the shit, kid."
But then when they're going down the elevator, she's flying down and attacking them, and they're basically dead, and Juzo's like, "Listen,
pull my trigger."
Pull my trigger. He's like,
bang,
"This might
bang.
There's a 90% chance this will kill her.
But you need to be responsible for taking a life." And Tetsuo's like, "I need to wipe my own ass."
That was the he's grabbing the trigger. I gotta wipe my own ass.
And then bang, 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 pull my devil trigger.
Yep, and it becomes
cry.
I know.
But some people might not, and it's a good song.
It's an okay song.
It's a great song. It is a phenomenal piece of American cinema.
Yes, Devil May Cry, the most American game.
Yeah, yes.
And after it shoots, it becomes like almost like a skylight. Like it's huge. It's like a beam that just goes up.
It's a very good thing that people don't pull Juzo's trigger very often because holy shit.
Imagine if that wasn't like vertical.
Yeah.
That would be going through some buildings.
That would kill a lot of people. I guess the government did a very good job designing Juzo as a weapon.
But yeah, they I guess save the girl because it shows later on her with Mary, and Mary takes away the spider parts and gives her regular robot limbs.
Mary's been doing a lot of that recently. Doing a lot of, here, let me give you new robot bits.
Yeah. And Tetsuo can walk now. Actually, Juzo's carrying him at one point. He's like, here. He's like, you're going to start walking yourself now.
And don't you ever fucking control me with Harmony again.
And I guess Tetsuo can talk kind of like through a speaker.
Yeah, it basically seems like they've got the, they modded Harmony in his throat so that now he can control a speaker, I think.
Yeah, and it basically implies that the two of them are going to work together now because they're both on Barugan's shit list.
Yeah. And they both get kicked out of...
yeah, and he let him pull his trigger, and he talked about how no one's going to pull my trigger.
I only let people I trust pull my trigger, and I don't intend on trusting anybody.
Except for that one time.
Except for that one time when it was a real big emergency and I had to. But other than that...
And then we get one scene after the credits, I think, where it's some woman with, like, that we see in the ending with the black hair and the purple or the blue lips.
A very JoJo-looking woman.
Yeah, and she looks outside and she goes, like, you know what this means, don't you, Juzo? And I'm like, I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it... I'm not Juzo.
But we'll find out next time.
We'll find out what female Abakio has in store.
I feel like that's Juzo's love interest.
Probably.
There's a lot of promotional art of like her sitting on his lap.
And there's a lot of her in the OP and ED.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad now that Tetsuo can actually stand and do stuff, and he's not a cripple that needs to be carried around.
Yeah, that'll be a lot more helpful to his character.
Yeah.
But I like the shit out of this show. I want to see more things happen.
Yeah, this is one of the best shows we're watching this season.
Give me more things.
And if you want to hear more about No Gun's life or any of the other stuff we're watching, like Dr. Stone or Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life,
then you should follow our podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you should subscribe to our channel.
And like the video so we know we're doing a good job.
Exactly. And make sure you have the notification bell clicked so you get notifications about when we upload new content.
And you can be notified on social media if you wish. We're on Twitter and Facebook at Protagonist Seat, respectively.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this on any of the other actual podcast platforms, i.e. Google Play Music, iTunes, Spotify, shit like that. Deezer, if you're our one French viewer, hello, I saw you in the demographics.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, mon ami. Then follow us on whatever platform that is. We are also on Liberated Syndication.
And we are currently doing a My Hero show on the side where we're just talking about My Hero with our friend Tyler, and that is only on YouTube, so subscribe to us just for that.
Yeah. And we do promise to tell him to back up from his fucking microphone.
Are you talking about how Tyler's always on his mic, like,
yeah,
like he's like falling asleep on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll straighten that
fix that.
motherfucker out
With our fists.
Beat the shit out of him.
Just kick the fuck out of him. But anyway,
yeah, we did under an hour finally this season. It's finally happened.
Woot.
It's what happens when you get rid of two shows that you didn't enjoy talking about.
I know,
very
right?
much.
If you don't want to listen to us talk about Assassin's Pride or what was the other one?
After School Dice Club or Psychero Club.
See, it's not even a bit that I forget it every time. I just fucking forget
It was a boring
that
show and it was forgettable.
Yeah. If you don't want to listen to us talk about that, then stay tuned anyway, because we won't, because we cut those shows last week.
But stick around for the good stuff. I'm Alex, that's Ian.
Hello.
And this is the Protagonist Seat.
Goodbye.
And we are out.